Okay, I need to get hooked up to the screens. You guys ever play around with Google Earth? Okay, so the first thing I want to do today is I want to get you refamiliarized or familiarize yourself for the first time with kind of the internal structure of your computer. My experience is that getting this out of the way early on saves us a lot of pain later on, just kind of knowing your way around your computer. So if you have RStudio open, just reduce that window for now because I want you to have access to your computer screen here at the beginning. So if you want to know the way to my house, I'm going to give you some personal information. Do not show up at my house. Do not toilet paper my house, etc., etc. I live at, if I was writing my address, I would address things to myself, Paul Kalinsky, 408 West Kansas Street, here in Liberty. It's about 9 blocks away. In Missouri, 64068. In the United States of America, and if I wanted to, on planet Earth. So, when you think about it, this is really not a great way of writing an address. It's the standard way that we write an address here in the United States, but it doesn't make a lot of sense because it gives you the most narrow piece of information first, doesn't it? It gives you my name first. Then it gives you my street number, but that could be 408 on any street in the world. Then it gives you the street. Then it gives you the town. Then it gives you the state. Then the country. And then the planet if we were dealing with an interstellar mail. But the fact of the matter is, a more sensible way of doing this would be to begin with the broadest geographic range. So when I put into Google Earth, the United States of America, it's going to zoom in on the United States of America. When I put in Missouri, it will hopefully zoom in on the state of Missouri because I don't have borders. Oh, I do have borders enabled. So there's the state of Missouri. But now I can narrow that further by saying which town we are in. Then I can narrow it in by street, West Kansas Street. But West Kansas Street actually goes all the way from the corner of 152 and 291 all the way down to the end of it where it ends at the campus. So it goes through Liberty and it ends at the campus right here. So if I really want to know where I live at 408 West Kansas Street. And that will zoom down on my specific house, which is right there. It is delightfully cute. I love my house. And that is where I live. So in order to find Paul Klawinski, you need an address. You need to know a physical location for that address. And the smartest way, the most sensible way of addressing something is to start with the broadest geographic unit, then the next broadest geographic unit, narrow it down to a smaller geographic unit, to a smaller geographic unit, to the exact geographic unit, and then that's where I live. The same thing is true of your computer. Your computer has a mapping system. And so what I want you to do right now on your computer is I want you to create a folder. And I want you to label that folder our intro, and I want you to save it someplace on your computer. If you're on a school computer, it's going to be saved in your workspace. If it's on your own computer, it'll be saved wherever you put it. Make that folder, save it on your computer. Take a minute and do that. It can be a downloads folder, but you can just right-click on your screen, and just you can save a folder. You could save it to your desktop. You could save it to your downloads. You could save it anywhere. Just follow your normal process for making folders, however you do it, and save it wherever you normally save stuff. Oh crud, I forgot to do something. Let me see if I have this. Pass this around. Everyone take a blue Post-it. Pass this around. Everybody take a red one, pink one. When you have gotten a folder saved on your computer, put up your blue tab. So I know everybody's done it. Just attach it to your screen. I've forgotten how to do live coding in a year. If you are having trouble, put up your red tab. So the reason for these is so I can just quickly scan the room, see who's having difficulty, see who's not having difficulty. All right, blue tab's down. Okay. So I can put on my desktop with my Komodo Dragon a folder called our intro. And now it's there. So there's a folder, there's an open space somewhere on my computer where I can just put stuff. I can then right-click it. So take the folder that you saved for yourself, named our intro, right-click it. If you're in a Mac world, there will be a little drop-down menu that comes up that says one of the options are Get Info. If you're on a Windows machine, I think it'll say Properties, if I'm recalling the Windows environment correctly. Once you are in there, whether you are in Windows or Mac, it should give you a path. And in my computer, the path is right here under Where, and it says Macintosh HD, which is my Macintosh hard drive, and then it says users And then it says Klawinskip, because this is my computer. And then it says desktop, I believe. Yeah, it says desktop, because this is where I put my folder. And the folder is our intro. This is referred to as a path. You guys familiar with paths from other data science exercises? But it's basically just the physical address. Where on my hard drive is this particular folder that I just made. It's on the hard drive. It's in a space called users. It's in a smaller space called Klawinski P, because last name, first initial, that's how we do usernames at Williamsville College. It's on the desktop. It is the thing, our intro, the thing that I'm trying to find. Your hard drive is a physical thing. It's divided up into sections. Whether you have an 8-bit system, a 16-bit system, a 64-bit system, it doesn't really matter. That just determines how memory is divided up. But this thing is divided up. In my case, my hard drive is divided up into user spaces because I'm the only one who ever uses my computer. My hard drive and my user space are virtually the same, except that I also need space for storing applications that anybody could use on my computer. There's all kinds of other stuff that is on my computer. So there's a portion of this computer that is devoted to me. There's another section that is devoted to application, etc. If you haven't done this, and actually I don't know how to do this on a Windows machine because it's been so long since I've worked on a Windows machine, but I just did it on Cole's machine, maybe to his consternation. You can put an image of your hard drive on your desktop. I highly recommend this. If you go to your Finder window in Mac, you can go to Preferences, and under Preferences, most of you probably have under General, you probably have the hard drive button unchecked. If you check that button, it'll put an image of your hard drive on your computer. And then you can figure out, well, what all is in my computer? Well, on mine, it has library, users, systems, and applications. So I have applications, I have library, I have the system, the operating system, and then I have users. But then within that users section, there's only me because I'm the only person who ever really needs to use my computer. So you can click on the users. Oh, aha. There's also space for an administrator. Turns out I also have administrative privileges on my computer. So this is just you being able to see physically what is on your computer. This is it. It's divided up into 4 sections. The user section is divided up into 3 sections. This is the section that is allocated to me. And in that section, that's where all my stuff is. So I have Spring Materials. This is where my schedule is that I have posted on the Moodle site. I have a desktop that usually has way more stuff on it than it should. Where is my desktop? Oh, there it is. And here I have the stuff that I have for this class. So I have partitioned, I've divided up my space so that I have stuff in places where I can go and find them quickly and easily. If you haven't gotten in the habit of creating a file storage structure that makes sense to you, you should spend some time early on in this semester to do that. But the important thing for us to know is you have a folder somewhere on your computer called our intro. And right now, you need to know what its address is. Its address is this path. Write that down somewhere. Write it down on a piece of paper. Write it down on a notepad on your computer or whatever. Write that down because we're going to need it later on. Because I'm going to ask you to put something in there, and you're going to have to go find it later. Yeah.
Write down that really, or
no, yours. The one for yours. This is the one for mine. Yours is going to be totally different. That's why I want you to write it down. Have any of you guys ever defragged a hard drive? I'll tell you about defragging here in a minute. When you've got your path written down, put your blue tab up so I know that you've got your path for your folder written down.
It doesn't say our intro on the end, so we just add our intro to that.
Yeah, it won't. The path won't say our intro on the end because the path is you clicked on our intro, so presumably you know that that's what this is the address to. It would be like 408 West Kansas Street, Liberty, Missouri. Paul Kowinski is kind of the equivalent of our intro. It's who lives at that address. I need to see your blue tab or I can't tell that you're done. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that's good. Okay, blue tab's down. All right. Now, your computer doesn't actually do memory this way because it's kind of inefficient to do it this way. When you have a hard drive, the hard drive is divided up into little blocks. Gajillions of little blocks now. Back when your hard drive was only 210 megabytes, it's considerably fewer blocks. And each of these blocks is a certain size. So there's an internal structure. And when you have a file that is of a particular size, the computer goes and looks for a free block. And if your file fits inside of that block size, it'll just plunk it in there. And then this block appears partially filled. When you get your second file, it plunks it into that box. And now you have a box that is mostly filled, but it might not be completely filled. But the next file that you get might not fit in whatever little space is left in that box. And so it doesn't put it in that box, it will put it into the next box, and it'll fill that box partially. You get a fourth file, it fills up that box part way. If the fifth file is too big to fit in that section, it will put it in the next box. Maybe that's a really big file, and it fills up that whole space. Then file 6 will have to go into the next space. So there's physical space on your computer. So your computer doesn't look exactly like it looks when you look at a file structure, a folder structure, because in a given folder, when you have the R intro folder, it might put part of the materials in R intro into one of these spaces if it's a really big data file, and it might put it in a separate space, something else in that folder in a separate space. But in the indexing system in your computer, it will link those two aspects of physical memory in the virtual folder called R intro. So there is a physical structure to your computer. You largely don't see it. Back in the old days, when we had really tiny hard drives, your hard drive would get so full of stuff that you would have all of these blocks filled, but all of them would be filled partially. And as soon as you did this, your computer would start to slow down. It was noticeably slower. And that's when it was time to defrag your computer. And what it would do when it defragged is it would take whatever space was empty on your hard drive, and it would say, oh, this is an R intro file. This is an R intro file. We can process information more effectively if we put these R intro pieces together in the same physical space. So it would copy our intro to here and our intro to here, and then it would recopy them into a spot where our intro fits in one common block. Then when the computer goes looking for the stuff that's in that space, it's looking over a narrower geographic area on your computer. The cool thing about this when you defrag your computer is it would actually show you, during the process of defragging, it would show you this physical map of your hard drive. You could see pieces of your stuff disappearing, appearing someplace else, and then being recopied someplace else. as it went through this process. And depending on the size of your hard drive, it could take hours and hours and hours to do this. So you did it on a weekend. So there is a physical space on your computer where your stuff is stored. You can organize it in a virtual way, but your computer may not be following that same virtual division. It's putting stuff wherever it has memory to put it. I haven't defragged a computer probably since the 1990s. There's less of a reason to do that now because our hard drives are so big and our processors are so fast. But the cool thing about it was you could actually see a visual of the physical structure of a computer in a way that you can't really anymore. But these addresses, these paths, that's how you get to stuff. The most common error that we get in this class is object not found. When you see object not found, it's just R's way of telling you, you sent me to look for something in the bedroom, and it's in between the couch cushions in the living room. And so you're working out of R in one directory or one folder, and the stuff that you're trying to work on is in a different folder. Having a good awareness of what path is to your stuff is a good thing to have. Back in the old days, once again, when computers were smaller, everybody who worked on a computer pretty much walked around with a mental map of their hard drive in their skull because we didn't have graphical user interfaces. If you wanted a file, you had to type out the path to get to the file. Like if I wanted to open a file, I couldn't point and click on something. I had to type its path in, hit enter, and then the terminal would bring up the file. So it's not something that you're used to because you interact with computers differently in the year 2022 than we did in 1985. But when you click on something, what you're basically doing is you're telling the computer, go find the thing on this path. Your computer has stored the path for you. You can always find what the path is by right-clicking on it. And then you know where that thing is, and you can go find it. All right, questions about that? All right, open up our studio if you have not already done so. Give me a chance to clear some stuff up. I was working already today. So when you look in RStudio, it should have 4 panes. If it looks like it only has 3 panes, it's because the console pane has taken up more space than it deserves. So give me a minute. Let me make this bigger so you can all see it. So up here, if you click on this thing that looks like 2 windows, click on that, and it will show you this pane here as well as the console pane down here. So there are 4 panes in RStudio. The upper left-hand pane is referred to as the source editor. This is where you can type in code, but it's not running anything. It's just where you're editing your script. You can write comments in here. You can do anything you want in here. In the lower left-hand corner, this is the console. This is where when you activate, when you actually run a line of script, this is where running the line of script actually occurs and where the result of running that script occurs. The result is generally not going to appear in the source editor because the source editor is for editing. So I like using the source editor and the console in this way because it allows you to tinker with things without altering your entire code. So if I'm working on a script, I'll do my editing up here, and if I want to try something out that I think is not going to work, I'll shift down to the console, try that thing out. If it works, I'll then just copy and paste that back up into my source editor, and then I don't have to mess up my final version up here in the source editor with something that was experimental that didn't work, and then I have to go back and erase that and things like that. So especially when you're doing some things in R for the first time, I find myself flipping back and forth between the source editor and the console pretty often. Um, the upper right-hand corner here is the environment and history. Right now you can see that my environment is empty because I haven't really done anything in this script, and I also just cleared out my environment and cleared out my history. There are brooms here and here where you can clear out the space. So especially after I've been working with the script for a while and I've been troubleshooting code and things like this, my console is just full of the last 3 hours of failed experiments and crap. Sometimes I'll just sweep that stuff out just to get rid of it. I'll rerun my script to get a nice clean version of it so that I can see what's still in my edited version up here that I still need to do some tinkering with. So you're going to find yourself occasionally wanting to clean this thing out. And then the lower right-hand area down here is a section for files, plots, packages, and also the viewer. We'll be using the viewer somewhat today. So these are your 4 parts of your workspace in RStudio. RStudio is just a graphical user interface that basically takes base R and allows you to interact with it in a slightly more seamless way. If you were working out of base R, every time that you generate a graph, it will open that graph up in a separate window, and then before you know it, you have all of these windows floating around on your desktop. It just becomes kind of inefficient, especially if you're doing a lot of analyses. In RStudio, all of these plots just get put into the plots window, and then you can just scroll through them, and they're not cluttering up your workspace. And so I like to use RStudio more than base R simply because it's just more organizationally efficient for me. Questions on the layout? Okay. I have a R Markdown file that I have used to get ready for today, and I'll put this up on Moodle after we're done. One of the things that you will see that I do with live coding is I don't ever give you the R Markdown file before we've done the live coding. There's a reason for that. I don't want you to just be copying and pasting out of the Markdown file into your script. I want you to go through the process of typing it in because I think you learn what you need to do better that way than if you're just copying and pasting things. So there is a reason for it. I think it's better for you to develop your scripting skills by relying less on an already created script. Now, in the same way, I could just go to my R Markdown file and I could just copy and paste things over as I'm taking you through the R script. I also don't do that because I want to be scripting at the same speed that you're scripting, and I'll be way faster with you if I'm just copying and pasting. So I always print a copy of my R Markdown file and I bring that in, and that's what I work off of. Now, this R Markdown file for me is actually stored on my desktop. It is stored in the the DTS218 materials. It's in the January 24th file. I opened R from this folder. Therefore, R is starting with this folder as the working directory. But if you just open R from your computer right now, R is working out of the R directory. It's working out of applications, actually. And if you put something in your R intro folder and you ask R to go get it, it's not going to find it because it's looking in the R directory. It's not looking in the R intro folder that you created. So 2 things that I want you to do right here at the beginning is I want you to, another couple of things. Whenever you want to make a comment in R, put a # in front of it, and you can write comments. These comments are just basically things for you to be reminded of what you're doing while you're working within a script. I highly advise commenting your scripts heavily because you may write a script now and you may come back to it 6 months from now, need it for something, and you look at it and you're like, what the heck is that script doing? What the heck is this particular line in that script doing? If you've commented your scripts well, the comments will tell you what those lines of script are doing, and you'll be able to navigate through that better in the future. So I'm a big fan of commenting the heck out of things. So the first thing that we'll want to do is we want to get the working directory. So type in get WD and an open parentheses. When you get an open parentheses, it will automatically add the close parentheses and then activate that line of code. You activate the line of code in a Mac with command return. In Windows, it's control enter. Now, what you should see is you should see a path. My path is users Kluinskip desktop 2022 DTS218 materials, 2022 January 24th materials, because that's where my R Markdown file exists. Your path is going to be different. Your path is going to be something like applications or something like that, if that's where your R is being held. Can everybody see their path? Okay. Ultimately, we're going to load a file into the folder that you created, R intro. So what I want you to do is I want you to change the directory that R is working out of to that R intro folder. And the way you do this is we're going to set the working directory, and you do it with command set WD. But in this case, what you have to do is you now have to put the path to your object in there. And so an easy way to do this is to actually just go to your folder, wherever that folder is. And for me, it's on my desktop. And it's just our intro. Right click on that, get the information, and you can actually just grab the path and put it in quotes and paste the path in there.
In the parentheses.
In the parentheses, yep. And put it in quotes. This is one of those situations where you do need quotes around it. Activate that line of code. Then check it again using getWD. Put your blue tab up when you've accomplished that. Put your red tab up if you're not able to do that. Okay.
Just give me error messages.
Okay, what error? All right, show me what your path is to our intro. You're actually going to need the C because you're in a Windows machine. Yep, because that's your hard drive. That's actually the name of your hard drive. So copy that whole thing. Yep, try that.
I think I had that.
Oh, you did have that. Okay, then get rid of the C.
Get rid of the C and
the colon.
And the first backslash?
No, you might need that first backslash.
Okay.
Once again, I don't work with Windows as much as I do with Mac.
Cool.
All right, get rid of the forward slash or the backslash. Oh, you kept the C and it worked. Oh, you have a Windows machine also.
Yeah.
All right, go back to the. Did you copy it directly or did you type it in?
No, I copied it directly.
Okay, put the C and the colon back in.
Okay.
Oh, wait. You have desktop. You don't actually have the folder.
Which
Let's
folder?
see.
The R intro folder?
Yeah, you need the R intro folder.
Isn't that it right there?
Yeah, but you don't have that in your path. So let me see.
Oh, okay. And then slash R intro?
Yep.
Where's the backslash?
Right there.
And now just R. Like that?
Yep. That's not fixing things. Wait, oh, go back to your path. Well, that is just weird. Let me see. Let me have your mouse. It's subjecting to the U in users.
Could it be the fact that before you said to do anything, I accidentally ran this line of code?
Ran what line of code?
Just set WD with nothing in there. It gave me an error message.
I don't think that would matter.
Yeah.
Kill RStudio, start it up again, run get WD, set WD.
Perfect.
Yeah, just try that. Sometimes if you do something like that that messes something up, it has to freak itself out. Yeah, what you got?
I think he's saying something he does.
Let's see, what is your...
I'm trying to let him show, but I need to.
Yeah. No, that's not it. Where's your R intro folder? Yeah, go get it. Whoa. I really don't know how to operate.
Are you trying to go to properties?
Yeah, I was trying to go to properties. Yeah. Oh, I didn't see the error there. That's just weird. And you just copied it directly out? I also can't operate your computers. That was capitalized. Okay. Aha. Are you using OneDrive?
I don't think so.
That's your problem. You stored this in OneDrive. For whatever reason, R does not really like interacting with OneDrive.
Okay.
So you need to store it physically on your computer's hard drive. So
You're going to do this before. You've got to go to like PC and just actually
Yep.
put it on.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then use that path.
Still nothing. I tried rerunning it. No.
Okay. All right.
Back there.
All right. I'm really not sure why that's not working. Oh, and you're doing it on. Oh, you were doing it on that computer. All right. Hang tight. Yeah.
This is right.
Yeah, because you were there and now you're there.
Okay.
Yep. Although this isn't your our intro folder, so you need to redo this and put our intro at the end because you want it to actually access that folder in particular.
That's what I'm worried about, because like I copied the direct pathway here and it didn't put our intro.
Yeah, because it's telling you the path to our intro.
Okay.
It's like our intro is like Paul Kowalski at the top of my address.
Okay. So then I
Just-
what do I need to do?
Yeah, just do a backslash. So up here, or forward slash.
And then
forward
type
slash.
our intro.
Yep.
Do I do it outside the our intro?
Nope. Inside the quotes.
Okay.
Yep. There you go. Yeah. How's it going?
I just closed. Oh.
Okay. So you've got.
Sorry, let me type that up. You can do it both.
Okay. Get your scripting window. Yeah. There you go. All right. I'll go work on somebody else. You get ready for me. Yeah. What you got?
This is done.
All right. Give me a minute. Use forward slashes instead of backslashes. Are you using forward slashes or backslashes? Forward slash leans forward, backslash leans back.
Yeah, it's all.
We need forward.
Yeah, try forward slashes. Sometimes an internet search where you just type in the error that you're getting will send you to the answer. Yes! / /. All right, good, good. Cool. Okay. So did it work?
It's not. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have to look down here. Actually, drag your window up. Yeah, there you go. So that's your current directory. Where is your R intro directory? Okay, so did you run set the WD? It doesn't look like you did.
Yeah. So do I run set
Yep,
DVD?
yep. Run that. Ah, okay. Da, 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 da. Oh, it's because you're. Oh no. That's weird. Oh, you're on a Windows machine. You need the hard drive in front of it. So you need C:. Yep, there you go. Try that now. Okay, now get WD again. Okay, all right. You guys still having problems? All right.
Physically did it, now it still says the same thing.
/ leaning this way.
On all of these?
On all these. All these backslashes, change them to / here.
Okay.
Yeah, / instead of backslashes. Lesson 1. The internet is your friend. If you see a error code and it doesn't make any sense to you, for example, what was it? You needs hex digits. Like, what the heck does that mean? Just copy the first little bit of that error code into a search engine, put R, capital R at the end of it, and it will almost always tell you, oh, this is a common error that people get. Here's how to fix it. It was a simple / thing. You'll notice that I put mine all as / to begin with. It's just a second nature to me. I don't even think about it really. All right. Are you guys done? Okay. Now you're working out of that directory. Now, if you look in the files section over here, if you click on the files tab, you can see that in my directory, I have a bunch of stuff because I put a bunch of stuff in there in preparation for today. Yours should be empty. Is that correct? If you're in the R intro directory, you haven't added anything to that yet, have you? Why is there stuff all in your R intro? Because
I'm still stuck on that.
Oh, you're still stuck.
In there, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know
All
what's
right.
wrong.
Okay.
I was thinking it's the OneDrive as you said before. But
Oh, it is a OneDrive thing. So put that folder under your physical hard drive. So go down here and
I had my art intro.
go to this PC.
Okay.
This is actually your hard drive on your computer.
Okay.
So what you want to do is you want to get into that and you want to create it
Right
there. Yep.
Okay. My bad.
Yeah, that's fine. OneDrive for whatever reason doesn't really interact well with R.
Yeah, mine's not empty for whatever reason.
Okay.
It worked though. I got it to work as soon as I put it in the board. So.
That's weird though. Get WD. Run get WD. So I'm not convinced that you're there. Oh, you are there. Well, that is weird. Because it should be empty. Yeah.
Yeah, the same thing as Karis in there. But it's still empty.
Let me get in here. Oh. It was looking further up on your. If you're in the file window, may not have taken you directly to our intro. So I can back out of this actually. This green arrow takes me up in the directory structure in theory. Okay, it's not doing it because I told it to be here. If you have a bunch of stuff in there, chances are you're in a higher level of your directory. So just follow down your path. So you're probably up at users or Clowinskip or desktop or something like that. Find the next level down in your path, click on that, find the next level down in your path, click on that. You'll get to our intro and you should see that our intro is empty. Yeah. So your path is users is an option, so Slapless, so you're in desktop.
Probably.
Let's see. That's just weird. So you're at the top of your directory. Why do I not see the file?
I just manually typed in the R intro part. That was correct,
Yeah,
right?
shouldn't matter. I don't even see anything in your directory structure is here. Go back. Yeah, that's bizarro. All right, give me a sec to think.
Did you have a OneDrive as your output? So it's funny because I noticed when you put it in my in here, it's separate from the OneDrive, but it seems like
Go back to R.
the output says OneDrive documents like when I ran it. Isn't that weird?
Okay, do the set. So go back to where you put it on your hard drive. Go find it on your hard drive. Sorry. Get the path for that.
The location just C.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yep. All right. So go back to R. Your path is going to be that's all your path is.
That's all it is.
Yep. So you just okay, and that's so run set WD. Run it. No, not get WD. Set WD. Run the first line.
Do I just hit enter?
Now you did it. It's Control Enter.
Okay.
Now run get WD. You're there.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. There you go. Don't worry about the stuff that you got stuff in there. What's your issue? Okay. Let me see. What's your path? Users sales. That's weird.
Like this is my documents one, but this is on OneDrive, which I couldn't use, so I have to go back to it.
Okay. All right. Da, 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 da. So that's you. That's you. You see, there's nothing in your path that is in this folder. All right, don't worry about it for now.
Okay.
I don't really use that all that much. But what did you get?
This is what runs.
Okay, it must be a Windows thing. Okay, all right, don't worry about it. All right, tabs down. What I want you to do now is I want you to go to the Moodle site. I want you to go to this day's materials, and there is a file called Spanish Flu Deaths. I want you to download that. It's going to automatically download it to your downloads folder. I want you to then drop it into your R intro folder. Put up your blue tab when you've got that done. Go to your file structure, in Finder or whatever and verify that it's in there.
So just download both of them?
Just the flu deaths.
Download the deaths.
And then put it in your R intro folder. And then once you have done that, I'm going to do it as well. Make sure that it's there by actually seeing it there. You just cut and paste or copy and paste, or you can drag. So have you downloaded it yet?
Yeah, right.
You go to your downloads.
Uh,
Downloads folder. Right there. There's probably tons on this thing. You just search with Spanish. There it is. Right click it. Whoa. That's weird. Click on the file itself. Right click. Copy.
Ah.
Go to your R intro folder and paste it in.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. These are just some file manipulations things. You are going, blue tab's down. You're going to be downloading a series of files off of the Moodle site. Moodle will handle R scripts, it'll handle CSV files, et cetera, et cetera. Ultimately, you need to get these things off of Moodle and into a place where you're going to be working on them. I generally make individual folders for each project that I'm working on. That way, all the things having to do with that project are in one little space. We're going to be using R projects, so I'll show you when we get to our first set of analyses how R projects works. We don't really need to know that today. What I do want to introduce to you today is some basic functionality in R, but in order to do that, I want you to start getting comfortable with this package called R Markdown. R Markdown allows you to build an R script with a bunch of text explanations around it. So it's really good for writing reports that you're then going to need to have your analyses linked to. So what I want you to do is, if you haven't done it yet, is go over here to the Packages pane, click on the Install button, and I want you to type in R Markdown, and then click Install. And what you should see over in your console is a bunch of things happening. Oh, it didn't take, I already have it installed, so it didn't take me hardly any time. You're going to see a lot of error messages and stuff. If it asks you a question, just click yes. Yes, you want it to do it because you want to install R Markdown. When it's done installing R Markdown, it should just give you the command prompt back. This is the command prompt. And then put your blue tab up when you've got your command prompt back. Why is it giving you a pound sign in front of every line? Down here. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
On yours, it has a capital, and I don't think that means anything.
Shouldn't.
This one.
Yeah. I would assume so. Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is.
Yeah. So go to install. Oh, that's it.
Yeah, I already have.
So go down here to scroll. Well, let me just tell everybody this. In this pane here, you can see all of the packages that you have available to you. And so you can just scroll down and verify that it's been installed. R Markdown. And if you want to, there are two ways of calling up a package, of activating a package. One way is over here in the library. Why can I not? Library R Markdown. I think you have to have it in quotes if I recall correctly. And when you run that, it will load it. And when you load it, it will put a check mark in front of it. The other thing you can do is you can just find it in a list of the packages and click on the open box, and it will load it. And you will see that that runs in the console. So you can load packages either way. Yeah.
When I tried to do it over here, like get our markdown, it came up with this error message. But
Oh yeah.
both our markdown and
Go back to your thing. So you installed. Then what did you do?
all I did was this, and then it came up with this error message.
Oh yeah. So install packages should be R Markdown all one word.
Okay, but it's already.
It's already there for
So
whatever
it's
reason.
fine?
Yeah, it's fine. Just click on it, and it will load it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
there you
just
go.
wanted to make sure
Yep.
it's good.
Yep. Yeah.
I think I had it installed, but then it's just called Markdown. Is it? And when I said R Markdown,
It
it's not
should be
showing.
R Markdown. Go to install
There's a separate one.
R Markdown. Yep. Right there.
Okay.
Good.
Install that.
Yeah.
I downloaded mine
Different.
from the internet. Mine's like that too. I don't see
Okay.
it or Markdown, but I put it down.
Okay. Did you go to install?
Yeah.
Just start typing in R Mark. When Markdown appears, just go ahead and click on it
Maybe I installed just Markdown.
and install. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's just saying there's no package code on it.
There is. Go to install. Type in R Mark. It's automatically completing. Click on Markdown. There you go. Yep. What's up?
Don't we need to return a detached, right? It's only returning this, right?
Oh yeah, because you loaded it. You don't need to detach it. I was just showing you
okay.
that if you click on it, it will get you out of it. That's what detach is. You can also just click on it and it'll load it back up.
Oh, I
Yep.
see. Okay.
Yep. What's up?
It's saying like yes, no, cancel, and then it's
Okay.
not picking.
It asked you a question and you didn't say yes to it while it was trying to install. So let's go through the install again. Yes. Your computer is set up that it doesn't want you to do stuff like we're doing right now. And so it's going to query you periodically, asking if you want to do the thing you want to do. And
Okay.
yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, what you got?
Like put them all in a user library.
That's fine.
So
Just click on it. Oh, wait, that's Markdown. That's not R Markdown. Go to install. R Mark.
space.
Nope. Just wait. So click on R Markdown. One of the things that R will do for you oftentimes is it will autofill stuff. So when you start typing in R Markdown in the install window, it will go looking for answers to what you're looking for. So it'll put R Markdown as one of the possibilities. Click on that and you're good to go. If you're working in the pane, you can also do autofill as well. If you start typing a particular command, you can just hit tab and it will auto finish that line.
Do I need to get rid of the last one I did?
No, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Okay. We're out of time for today. Wait, do not close. Do not close. What I want you to do is you now have the world's shortest R script, but let's just save it because up here you've got stuff that's useful. You've figured out what working directory you're in. You've set a working directory. You've gotten a new working directory. You've loaded our Markdown. Save this. So go up here to the save thing, the save button. Oh, mine already saved because I already had it saved as something. Just name it some file name. On Wednesday, when you come back in, open up this file at the state that it's at and run it down to the point that it's at. Yeah.
It should save it automatically into our intro folder.
Should save it. I was about to say that. It should save it automatically into your R intro folder. So next time when you come in, you shouldn't have to set directory because you're going to open this R script from that R intro folder. So you should still check the directory, get WD, but if it's that directory, you don't need to do anything else because you're already in the directory you want to be in. So also before you leave, go and check your R intro folder to make sure that this file is in there. When you're done with that, blue tabs, something that went well for you today. Red tabs, something that could have gone better and maybe how it could have gone better. And then put those on my desk on your way out of class. Yeah.
I have a third thing in it called not work history. It's just wondering if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
But it all worked other than that.
Okay, all right, yeah.